Hi everyone. I'd like to go ahead and demonstrate the preview review technique for you. And I want you to pretend that there's been a horrible war here in America and all of you have had to move to Cambodia for safety. So you're new refugees in a new country and you are now in first grade and you are still learning the new language Khmer, and it is language arts time and the teacher is going to read a book for you. So we'll introduce the book to you in your native language, which is English, and they'll go ahead and read the book in Khmer, and then we will review the book in English with you. So we'll start off by doing a basic picture walk, looking at the cover and discussing it. So when you look at the cover, who do you see? Okay, do you see a woman? Okay. And what's this woman's job? What do you think her job is? Okay, you probably said that she's a race car driver. And how do you know that she's a race car driver? What things do you see in the picture that makes you think she might be a race car driver? Okay, you see the helmet, kind of the racing clothes, and you see the racing car, and you probably guessed it's a racing car because you saw the 10 on the side. Okay, so the name of this book is Net Sade Paul, which means Mrs. Paul. Okay, so you probably are guessing that Mrs. Paul is what? A race car driver? Okay. Look at Mrs. Paul here. So now who do you think Mrs. Paul is? You probably guess that she's a teacher. Okay, what are some things you see in the picture that would suggest that she's a teacher? Okay. You see the chalkboard, she's writing the chalkboard, you see some students in the back sitting at some desks. So that would be a good guess. Okay. So here we see Mrs. Paul again, and you see that she's driving a race car. And here we see Mrs. Paul doing something. Okay, oops. What is she doing here? Okay, you can see she's climbing a mountain. And what do you see her doing here? That's right, she's riding her hang glider. So we can see that she was riding her hang glider with her students. And can you tell what the students were doing? Where are they? Okay, it looks like they're at the park, and it looks like they're having a what? Probably on a field trip having a picnic, because we see the food over here. And can you see what the students are doing? That's right, they're drawing pictures of Mrs. Paul. Okay, so what kind of person do you think Mrs. Paul is? Would you say she's brave or she's adventurous? Okay. Well, anyways, the next day when Mrs. Paul came back to school, something was wrong. What happened? That's right, she broke her arm. So let's go ahead and read this book now, and we'll read it in Khmer. And I want you to listen and understand what happened to Mrs. Paul, okay? Net Sade Paul. Nipun Dai Jennifer Beck. Jennifer Beck Net Sase Saponi. Guru Dai Philip Webb. Philip Webb Guru. Okay? Net Sade Paul. Net Sade Paul. Net Sade Paul. Net Kru Yeung. Chol Jet Tour Dam Nap Sang Preng Na. Quat Bout Lan Pranang. Quat Bout Lan Pranang. Room. Quát tang lang pnum dam ksai pua. Quát lang dam pnum dam ksai chua. Okay, lang pnum. Quát chi klein ha. Quát chi klein ha. Ni klein ha about quát. Quát chi. Quát chi klein ha. Bell sẽយើងធ្វើ picnic ពួកយើងនាំគ្នាគូររូបគាត់ Okay, កូនសិស្សទាំងអស់គ្នាគូររូបគាត់ Mrs. Paul. That's Sade Paul. ថ្ងៃបន្ទាប់មកអ្នកស្រី Paul ត្រឡប់មកសាលាវិញបាក់ដៃម្ខាងបាក់ដៃម្ខាង Mônអ្នកគ្រូPaul មិនបានជាអញ្ចឹងហេតុអ្វីបានជាដែរអ្នកគ្រូបាក់ដែរបាក់អ្នកគ្រូមានគ្រូថ្នាក់ពេលអ្នកគ្រូបាក់ឡើងប្រណាំងមែនទេយ៉ាងម៉េចហើយនឹងតែខ្លាញ់ហោះអ្នកគ្រូធ្លាក់ចុះមែនទេតែអ្នកគ្រូធ្លាក់ពីលើភ្នំមែនទេឡើងភ្នំអ្នកស្រីផលឆ្លើយថាតាមពិតពេលអ្នកគ្រូព្យួររូបគំនូរអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាក៏ព្យួររូបគំនូរនៅលើជញ្ជាំងក្រោយម៉ោងរៀនហើយអ្នកគ្រូធ្លាក់ពីលើកៅអី Okay, so the name of this book is Natsare Paul, or Mrs. Paul. And let's review who is Mrs. Paul. She's a teacher. And what are some of the things that Mrs. Paul likes to do? She likes to race cars. She likes to climb mountains. She likes to hang glide. And she was hang gliding with her students while they were having a picnic. And remember we read the word kamai, picnic, so that's a cognate. It's the same in both languages. And the students were drawing her picture while she was flying. And then what happened the next day? She came back and had broken her arm. And what do you think some of the students were saying? Remember this girl here? She said, what happened? And the kids were guessing about maybe some things that happened. So what's one thing they guessed might have happened? Right? Did you crash your race car? Okay. Did you crash your hang glider? Did you fall from the mountain? Okay. And then what did Miss Paul say? Okay. What did she say happened? Okay. After school, she was hanging up their pictures. And then what happened? That's right. She fell off the chair. So I'm afraid our friend Mrs. Paul is going to have to go to mandatory chair safety training at her school. Okay, so again, this is the preview review technique. And I want you to imagine if I just picked up this book and just read it straight through without doing any of the preview stuff that we did, how much more would you have understood the book versus what we did here by previewing it in your native language, which is English, then also reviewing it, okay? So that's the preview review technique.